Okay, today we want to take a look at Kobi from a couple of days ago. He's made some changes, and we want to see what we can see here from the 12 o'clock and 9 o'clock views. He's on the left here. I'm going to use Mikolus Alekna here on the right because they have a similar technique he's trying to use with that John Powell type of right leg on the entry. So let's take a look at what we got here. The sweep leg, you can see he's leading with the top of the thigh and the foot is kicking forward. I mentioned this to you the other day. Let's take a look at Alekna's sweep leg as he comes around. You can see how he's leading with the inside of the thigh and the inside of the foot. Now, I've heard that this can help to keep the hip ahead of the shoulder. And I know when you have a longer extended leg, rather than the John Powell technique where you have a short leg here, when it's all longer and you have that foot arranged like this with the foot outward and kicking with the inside and leading with the inside of the thigh rather than the knee and the toe, that it's more rotational. So there's just a couple of reasons. They both have the left foot here stopped toward the right sector line. Okay. You can see, let me go back a little bit, put them about the same position, right about here. See the discus is back. Okay. So the first thing I would do is coming out of the back and entering the circle, I would rotate this leg outward so the foot's facing out here to the 9 o'clock and you're leading with the inside of the thigh and the inside of the foot. So let's take a look at what else we have. Okay, there's the left foot just came off the ground. Let's take a look at Alekna here in the same position. You can see you got the discus and your shoulders are already turned a little bit toward the 3 o'clock direction. You see Alekna's shoulders and chest is facing still toward the throwing direction. You can see he's got the discus way back here still. So he's got quite a bit of separation between this right shoulder and this right hip. This right hip is way ahead of the shoulder. Okay, I can't tell where you're at from this view, but maybe we'll see from the other side. But it looks like you don't have quite as much separation here. Looks like the shoulder, the right shoulder and the chest is pretty much in line with the hips. So let's keep going. Okay, here's the right toes down. Let's move Alekna to the same position, right there. Okay, what's important here is see the eyes. They're kind of looking down the left arm here, down the elbow. He's got the discus at quite a bit higher orbit. You can see how you've got the discus way down here and you're peeking around. Your eyes are kind of looking down the arm, but well, your head is facing that way, but your eyes looking a little bit past it. So you want to try to keep yourself a little bit more wrapped up by keeping this discus over here. And the position, I guess, here, he's got the at the right foot toes touchdown, he's got the discus at 9 o'clock, and you've got it here almost at 6 o'clock. Okay, so let's continue forward to when we got the hips facing the camera now. Okay, so let's put Alekna in the same position. Right about too far. Right here. Okay, so now we've got both of you with the right foot facing 12 o'clock, right at the camera. See how his eyes are still facing out his arm here. It's about 1 o'clock. Okay, your elbows out here past the 12 o'clock mark. Your eyes are already looking over the shoulder. You can't even see the discus. See, it's below your shoulder here. See how his discus is up high. You have a lean where your right shoulder is a little bit higher than the left. You can see how much more higher his is. So he's probably leaned over more. We'll see more from the other view from 9 o'clock. See what your lean is doing here. You see how the knee is outside. You want to keep that knee on top of the foot so you can keep rotating it. Shoulders aren't too bad. You're a little bit more open than Alekna, but he's probably got a lot of flexibility here. Just something to think about. When you want the hips, when you have the hips facing the clock here, or the camera here at 12 o'clock, you want these shoulders as much as you can facing this way. So you have the maximum separation, about 90 degrees. But this isn't too bad. It's pretty good. Let's go down until we get the left toes down. Okay. Okay, right here. You can see Alekna's got the discus behind the foot, which is now facing 9 o'clock. Okay, you look like you're in a similar position here. Everything looks very similar. Yeah, it's good. I don't think your left heel ever dropped. Let's see if it actually hit the ground. Okay, can't really see it here. You're turning, yeah, you can see, I mentioned this the other day, you're turning on the outside of the foot. You want to turn on the flat of your foot. You can see how the big toe is off the ground. You want to keep that flat down. Take a look at Alekna. I don't know if we can see if it's too blurry or not, but okay, you can see right here he's flat on the toes, or the ball of the foot. Let's see how he rotates it. He's keeping that ball down. Okay, let's continue on until we get the left heel down. Left heel down here. Okay. You can see his shoulders are still facing 3 and 9 o'clock. Okay. You can see how much more ahead yours are. Okay. So try to keep more separation by having at this position here at the left heel down. Try to keep the shoulders facing 3 and 9 o'clock rather than opening up a little bit like they are here. But it's not too bad. You still have separation. Your hips are ahead of the shoulder, so that's good. And you can see here's your right hip, and then you see the right shoulders here behind, so that's good. You can see the difference here with Alekna. Here's his right hip. You can see his right shoulder's way behind. Okay, about 90 degrees. Actually, yeah, about 90 degrees. Okay, so let's continue on. Okay, now we got the right heel up. Let's move Alekna to the same position. Okay. You can see you're kind of swooping the discus from a low level. That's because I think you had it low back here at 6 o'clock. It came around and you're kind of scooping it upward. What it does is it reduces your radius. You want to have as long a radius as you can. Here, watch Alekna as he comes around and releases this discus. Okay, see that? He's maximizing the distance between his center and that discus. The straight arm. Let's look at you in the same position, right? Just before release, right here. By doing this, you're losing a lot of energy. You need to have this up here, okay? Even with the shoulders. Okay, looks like your right hip is ahead. That's good. You can see how Alekna's hips are rotated. This right hip is way ahead of the left hip here. You want that before you release the discus. What's really important here is you see this lean from your head down through the middle of your feet. You're leaning way to the left here. Now take a look at Alekna. See, he's perfectly straight, right between his feet and his head. Okay, totally vertical. This is going to throw you off balance when you release. You're going to fall off to the left. It's quite a bit of wobble. See the wobble in the discus and the flight? I see that when I see a low orbit, like when the discus is low back here and then it comes around up high. Right here. I see a lot of times that's the reason why you get that wobble. Okay. And right here we talked about on Monday jumping up in the air to get off that foot so you don't fall. So you just kind of rotate there a little bit. Go ahead and get it up off the ground. Get in the air. Watch Alekna as he comes up and he lands. Okay. Now his foot's on the ground. His heel just came down. Now watch as he jumps up. They see it. That keeps him in the circle. Okay. Another point I want to make here is where your right foot lands. Okay, so here's the center of the circle right here. Let's see where your right foot lands. There's a little white dot, right? You can see right here. That's not too bad. You're almost exactly in the center, so that's pretty good. Let's take a look at the next. You got 2 throws here. I saved. Let's see the next one if you land about the same spot. So we're looking at right about here with your right foot where you want to land. That's good. That's perfect right there. Okay. Yeah, again, you're very consistent where you got the lean to the left there, and you got the arm low, the discus low. It's good though. You got the you're really using your hips here. You're taking this right heel, you're getting it vertical, and the right knee is aiming around to rotate around that left side block. That's very good. Very good. And you can see in this throw too, again, you've got the really wobbly discus and the low orbit right here. Okay, so when you come out of the back of the circle, you start entering the circle, you want to have the discus low, bring it up high, bring it down low, and release high. Try to get that discus to spin as fast as you can. All right, let's take a look at your 90-degree or 9 o'clock views here. See what we got. All right, I'm just going to kind of go through this frame by frame. Again, you have the knee turned, so it's facing and leading the into the circle, and you got the foot turned in. See, now let's take a look at Alekna in the same position. See how he comes out really wide with this foot? Okay, he's got it straight right about here. And when you're in that position, from the edge of the circle to his foot, you can see this distance. You are coming out. You're not too bad. You've got the distance coming out here, the separation. The knees aren't separated though, because you've got this knee here, the right knee turned inward. Let's watch Alekna as he comes through. Okay, there's that. You can see it now, like the soccer kick there. Leading with the inside of the thigh, inside of the shin, inside of the foot. Okay, here you've got the right knee bent. Let's get Alekna in that same position right about here. Okay. Here it looks like you're leading more with your chest in toward the front. That looks good. The discus should be a little bit farther back though. You can see the difference. Here it's right about at your right hip. You can see Alekna, it's way behind him here. You can still see his left arm in front. Okay. Let's go on. We talked about this the other day where it looked like you were rising up, but let's see how high you are at the release. Okay, here's both feet off the ground. Okay, you can see how Alekna's foot, the right foot, is a lot closer to the ground. He brings his left foot up really high though, but he snaps it right down. We talked about the other day how it looked like your left foot was taking too long to land. Now let's look at Alekna again from the back to the front. Let's see how fast he gets it down there. Okay, now let's look at you. See, it's quite a bit longer here. Okay, from there all the way to the front, quite a bit longer. What happens when you take that long for that left to go down? Look at where your okay, the left toe's just landed. See how this knee's already in? Okay, and the foot's already, the heel's coming out. It's already starting to rotate in, and you can see your where your chest is. So let's put Alekna in that same position. No, he looks like he's already there. Okay, so here's the cowboy stance. See, this knee is facing outward, this knee's facing outward, and he's got his head over the outside of the hip here. and you can see where you're at. Okay, you've already started the delivery, but you can see where the discus is. It's right here, and on Alekna, it's back here. Okay, his left elbow is right here, and your left elbow is already here. Okay, so try to get more separation. You can see where his hips are facing pretty much the camera, right at 9 o'clock, and his shoulders are facing back here at 12, even maybe 1 o'clock. I mean, he's really got separation here. So he's going to lead with that lower body, and he's going to have a lot of energy going on that discus, whipping it around. So try to get your left foot down faster. Let's see if there's anything that's maybe why it's taking so long. It could be right here where you're going too high up in the air. Okay, got a lot of distance here. Right here, we talked about this. See, your hips are facing the camera, but your foot is way back over here. Let's see where Alekna's at in the same position. When his hips face the camera, see his hips facing the camera. You see how his foot's tight right here, right behind him, right behind this left buttocks here. You can see how yours is way out here still. Okay. So try to get that left off the ground and snap it right to the front. It looks like you get to this point right here, and then you're kind of driving it forward rather than just snap it down. Okay. All right, so we've covered quite a bit. Let's finish up and see what we got here. I like how you hold that left side block and you extend that left leg. This looks really good right here. Let's get Alekna in that same position. Discus at 9 o'clock right here. Looks good. Got your chest up. Got your right knee down. Left arm's blocked. I can't see it. That's good. You're still on ground contact. Alekna's got his left foot off the ground. That's typical with the some throwers. They'll raise the left foot off the ground, keeping the right on. But this looks all really good. Let's scroll through a little bit more. And the only thing is, you can see here's your shoulder, and here's the discus down here. You can see Alekna's shoulders here. The discus is right here. He's got a little bit straighter arm, a little bit higher discus. Okay. This is good. You got a straight arm here after the release. See Alekna, straight arm. Just trying to see I'm trying to see why you were falling forward in some of these throws. Like right here. I thought maybe your upper body was getting ahead of the hips after you released, but it looks pretty good. You're vertical here. Shoulder still on top of the hip. Let's take a look at Alekna. Yeah, similar. Shoulder on top of the hip. He rotates when he's done. See how his heel's facing now, throwing direction? Let's see how your right foot lands. Very similar, yeah. He's got his upper body leaning forward a little bit more, I think, is keeping him from falling forward. His upper body's leaning into the circle here. And then, of course, being flat-footed here, you got to jump. Let's watch Alekna here. See how he gets the foot up off the ground as he rotates. So everything stays right here. And then you're falling forward a little bit. All right, let's take a look at your last throw here. Okay, yeah, we want to get that discus up. Let's take a look at this view from Alekna, so you can see how high that discus is. He gets it extremely high. Okay, you see where you're at right here. You see where he's at. So also take a look at the lean he has from his head down through his torso. See this angle? You're a lot more vertical here. Let's take a look as the knee rotates around. Take a look at the shin. Okay, right here. Yeah. The knee is over the toes, so that looks good. See, knee over toes for the Lekna. See his shoulder is way past his knee though. Okay, you see your shoulder. It's not as much, but it's not bad. You seem a little bit more vertical, but not too bad at all. You can see again here his discus is aligned with his shoulders and the left elbow, and yours is down a little bit. And you're peeking with your eyes into the throw. Keep your eyes back. At this point, he already has his knee. See how close your knees are here? You see how far apart his knees are? He's already got that left foot ready to land. There's one frame. You can see how it's kind of delayed. It's almost like you're bringing your foot down and then your knee goes. Maybe your knee and the foot should move together here. That little bit of a delay. You see in 2 frames he's got his knee down from right here. Or I'm sorry, he's got his foot down that quickly. His knee opens up outward and down. Let's see if your knee opens outward, then rotates outward externally. It does at the last second. Okay. Yeah, you want to, right here, you want to be on that cowboy or horse stance where you've got both knees outward here. Okay. Like he's got it right here. So he's can now drive that knee and drive that foot to the front to get that right hip forward. He's got a lot more. Yours is already here. I mean, it's probably not that big a deal, but I've seen Sandra Perkovic do that too. She's a non-reverse thrower, and she gets, by the time the left foot lands, she also gets that knee forward. Okay, we covered a lot of material there. Hopefully there's been some points to help you out. I'm glad you got the views from 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock. You can really see the difference there. Okay, and if you make any changes, corrections, and want to send another video, I'll take a look at it. All right. Thanks, Kobi.